Let me share with you a beautiful story. A great festival was being celebrated. At its center sat a man on an elevated chair. No one had placed him there out of pity or manipulation. He had earned respect through courage, ability, generosity, and excellence. His presence naturally inspired confidence. He did not need to proclaim his greatness, it radiated from his way of being. Around him sat hundreds of people on the ground. Many admired him. Some looked at him with a hidden pain. They desired the chair, yet lacked the strength, discipline, or greatness required to attain it. Their desire gradually hardened into resentment. Open confrontation was impossible. They could not defeat him by force, so they discovered a subtler weapon: morality. One among them stood up and said, "How fortunate we are to live among humble people. Blessed are those who seek no throne. Blessed are those who serve rather than rule. True greatness lies not in power but in meekness. We reject pride. We reject superiority. We embrace equality, humility, and self sacrifice." The crowd applauded. The words sounded noble, yet beneath them lay an unspoken accusation. Every praise of humility became an indirect condemnation of strength. Every celebration of weakness became a criticism of excellence. The man on the chair listened. He had never considered himself guilty, but slowly he began to feel ashamed of his superiority. He wondered whether his success was itself immoral. Day after day, the same sermons continued until he finally stood up, stepped down from the chair, and sat among the crowd. The people celebrated. Now justice has triumphed, pride has fallen, humility has conquered. But the chair did not remain empty. Another man immediately climbed onto it. Unlike the first, he had not reached it through excellence. He reached it by manipulating guilt, by mastering public opinion, and by speaking the language of virtue while secretly craving power. The crowd praised him even more loudly than they had condemned the first. The chair had not disappeared, only its occupant had changed. Power itself had survived, only the path to power had become dishonest. This, in simplified form, illustrates Nietzsche's genealogy of morality. According to Friedrich Nietzsche, the ancient noble cultures created what he called master morality. The noble person first affirmed himself. Good originally meant noble, courageous, healthy, generous, creative, and life affirming. Bad simply meant common or lacking excellence, not morally evil. Those who lacked power eventually developed what Nietzsche called slave morality. Unable to overcome the strong physically, they transformed values psychologically. Strength became evil, humility became good, pride became sin, obedience became virtue, suffering became spiritually superior to flourishing. Nietzsche believed this reversal emerged through resentment, a deep, long-lasting resentment that cannot express itself directly and therefore creates a new moral framework in which the powerless becomes morally superior. In his critique of Christianity, Nietzsche argued that the ideals such as "turn the other cheek," "blessed are the meek," exemplified this inversion of values. He saw them not primarily as expressions of overflowing strength, but as moral ideas that elevated weakness and condemned natural vitality. Whether one agrees with him or not, this was one of his most provocative philosophical claims. Nietzsche's concern was not that compassion is always bad. His concern was that a morality born from resentment discourages human excellence by making people feel guilty for being strong, creative, ambitious, or exceptional. His ideal was that revaluation of values, recovering a life affirming morality in which greatness does not need to apologize for itself, and where values arise from strength and creative self overcoming rather than from envy or hidden revenge. This is the philosophical lesson behind the story. The deepest struggle is not meant over who holds power, but over who gets to define what counts as good and evil. According to Nietzsche, changing those definitions can be more powerful revolution than seizing the throne itself. And I thank you. And the story ends with a very deep message for the 21st century.